Shalom. So we'll be reading Exodus chapter 20, verse 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Right? What often happens is that we read the scriptures and say, that doesn't go for me because I don't envy or I'm not jealous of this or that. No, you don't desire an ox. You don't desire a slave. You don't desire a house, maybe, or a person's wife. But guess what? What if it should be the new phone, maybe new iPhone 13, Samsung, whatever the latest model is? It might be a new relationship. It might be that new car. Might be that new clothes, some Gucci, or whatever it may be, right? Some jewels, maybe. Maybe you want to take a vacation trip so bad. All your friends are going, you're not going, right? Now, these things are outside of you. You have no control over them. They are not problematic. They are not a problem to our lives, right? The true problem is that we don't really know who we are, and that's where all of the confusion is, right? So it's gonna come back to this Adam. So I'm gonna put here flesh, spirit, right? Because we think we are this. So when it comes to our thoughts and what we feel in our body, we build our identity around this. And this is what we call I. But in fact, this is really the ego. And I'm not talking about ego as in pride. I'm just talking about a mixture of this, the conditioned self that we think we are. We get some of it from our mothers, our fathers, the culture, our religions, everything around us formulate this part of us, right? So this, the nature of this is to possess everything. It wants to possess the world, right? This is why sometimes we say we want some things, and as we get it, what happens? We no longer enjoy it. We want something else because this cannot be fulfilled. It has an insatiable appetite. And not only that, it makes war against the spirit, right? So we're going to get that in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 7. It says, because the carnal mind, which is this, the carnal mind is enmity against God. So the ego, the nature of it is to go contrary to the spirit. So for example, the spirit said, okay, I'm going to follow not eating pork. But the ego is the total opposite. So it's always be an adversary to the spirit. And this is why we are constantly battling with what? Things that entice us. All right? So it says, because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God. So even though the Bible says thou shalt not covet, guess what? This has nothing to do with what is written in the Bible. This wants to follow the Bible. So when you get lost between what you really are, then you will have a problem with everything out here. As you see a woman coming down the road looking all sexy, guess what? You want to possess her. As you see the new fashion come out on the market, guess what? You want to possess it. As the newest model of phone comes out, guess what? You want to possess it. Oh, you have your relationship, but no, you want that woman or that man, guess what? This is it. This gets lost. And the problem is you end up getting lost with it. So everything that this wants, this follows. So in order for you to control the desire, you need not to pay attention to these out here, because you cannot change anything outside of yourself. You have to change your identity with your mind and your body, with what you think and feel. And then once you can cross over to what you really are, then what you think and feel does not become a problem when it encounters the things outside of itself. So in order to control your lust and your desires or temptation, to face them, you just need the proper knowledge of what you really are, and then you will move in accordance with the scriptures, because this by nature wants to follow this, wants to follow the sacred scriptures. It is subjected to the scriptures, but this is the problem. Once you can control this, you're no longer worried about this. And you don't need to read all the scriptures about lust, about covetousness. You just need to understand where you stand between your spiritual side and your natural side. And then you will not get lost in this anymore. Shalom.